Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It was a great show yesterday and today. Great turnout. Thank you for allowing me to be here today. I wanted to talk about nested base manufacturing and where it's been. Everybody here, I assume, is familiar with nested base manufacturing. Good. Okay. Nested base manufacturing started in the early 90s, and it wasn't up till now that CNC machines have actually been able to take advantage of or stay up with nested base manufacturing. In the past, everything, or for nested base manufacturing, everything would come into the nest. Very efficient, huge savings on material versus the old way of doing it by table saw. Having CNC automation and CNC nesting would allow you to actually take, I'd say, about a 20% savings on your material onto the nest. But at that point, up till today, the nesting has been so far ahead of us that it's been difficult to stay up with it. And let me give you a great example. Your traditional CNC machine, which who has a CNC machine in here? Awesome. So your traditional CNC machine does a beautiful job of nesting, it's very efficient, and it cuts out all the parts. Now the next step is to actually mark those parts, and the machine's not running, so you go to the machine, it's cut out all the parts, you mark all the parts, label them, take them off the machine, sweep off the spoil board, maybe blow it off, and then load a new piece. Then press the go button. Still a very efficient way to cut products compared to doing it by hand. However, there's a huge stop sign between sheets, 10, 15 minutes. And with that in mind, that is the speed of nesting. It is so fast and efficient that we've not been able to stay up with it without having huge stop signs. Now, with technology and the third generation CNC technology, what happens is, like at our booth, we have the Python. It will automatically cut all your parts. It will label all the parts, and then it will automatically discharge all the parts into a conveyor table. At that point, the machine picks up another piece of material and continues the operation. What has been a big stop sign is now that the machine's working, which is great, and it's reduced that, the parts still need to be sorted. But now the Python will actually label all the parts. It will tell you, is it a shelf? Is it a stretcher, a deck? Most importantly, it'll actually label and mark with our robotic marking block the side that needs to be edge banded. So at this point, your production team can be right at the end of that machine and grab that part and know exactly what to do with it. There is no stop sign anymore. At the same time, the machine is still operating. With that in mind, at the end of the day, because they're not doing any lifting of the material, they're going home on time, and again, with no back pain. So third generation robotics has brought so much to the table, literally, and has complemented or allowed us to stay up with nested base manufacturing. This, again, you can take an operator with a 5-minute training session, and the parts will come out, they'll be labeled, it will tell them exactly what to do with those parts. They no longer need to look at prints, they do not need to stop and have nobody else talk to them as they completely concentrate, and there's no more human error. Allow the new technology to do the work for you. And that particular employee, if it's their first day or if they've been there for 5 years, are gonna look like a rock star. And basically anybody can do it. So from there, they can take it right to post-production and stay up with the nest. So if you have a machine like the Python that can continue a continuous operation, you have an outfeed table that will allow those parts to be collected and go into the secondary or post-production with no human intervention when it comes to accuracy on labeling the parts, what they are, where they need to be edge banded. It's great to have 3 or 4 people working the machine. However, now it's down to just one. And that one person, again, can look like a rock star. Now, if we take it one step further and we look at some of the technology trends and the labor-saving equipment that's out there, like the lock dowel, fastening system using our Scorpion LDR insertion. The parts come off your CNC machine. And this is a huge savings. Not only does it mark it that is for locked out, it tells it exactly what side needs to be, have the locked out insertion put in. But now your cabinets can actually be assembled within a minute. You can flat pack. And this type of technology is now available to allow this to happen. With that in mind, there's a customer that I had that actually has the whole system. About 6 months ago, in their post-production, they had 15 employees, and they were good employees, very experienced. They're down to 2. They took those other employees and put them in other areas that were, again, needed, where more labor was needed, and took their production department or their post-production down to 2 people with an increase in quality, accuracy. Also, just as important, employee satisfaction. They went home on time. They did not go home with back pain, and their bottom line made a huge difference. So nowadays, it's almost an absolute necessity to have CNC technology in your factory. But it's now that the machines are becoming an investment with a return within months or within a year. It's not a 5-year or 6-year or 7-year, and which is the beauty of it, in allowing companies to be much more accurate, profitable, and again, ensuring a quality product and an awesome work environment. Any questions?